If we fell, we got this love. Oh, 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 we got this love.
What's up, friends? I'm J Maxwell. Welcome back to my channel. This is J Max Reacts. Today I'm watching a video about the groove that says Nicki Minaj, the downside of being a pioneer. Let's see what they have to say.
Nicki Minaj, I know you're somewhere in the internet world. I gotta thank God for this blessing of an opportunity. Thank you to Queen Latifah, because you know what, earlier we were rehearsing and she just gave me so much positive energy, and I think it's so important right now for positive energy among women, because I'm doing this, I'm fighting for women. This is not for me, this is for all of us. So thank you to all the female rappers that paved the way for me. Thank you, Deb. I see you, baby. Let's go.
In the very codified world of hip-hop, only a handful of artists get credit for being trailblazers, exceeding expectations, and setting new standards of performance in the genre. It is definitely what Nicki Minaj has achieved over the past decade as the most dominant female performer in the history of hip-hop. Her recent debut at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making her the first female rapper to achieve this feat since Lauryn Hill in 1998, proves that her cultural impact in music is unmatched, and her nomination to receive the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award marks the culmination of a quite unique career in mainstream music. In what ways has Nicki Minaj been a pioneer in hip-hop, and what can her career trajectory teach us about the upsides and downsides of being a trailblazer? Women have always been pioneering figures in hip-hop ever since its inception. As early as the 70s, MC Sharrock, also known as the mother of the mic, was recognized as the first female MC. In 1981, she and other members of Funky 4+1 became the first hip-hop group to perform on mainstream television when they were invited on Saturday Night Live in 1981. A year earlier, Sylvia Robinson produced the now classic Rapper's Delight, the first rap song to ever enter the Billboard Hot 100 Top 40. Many more female MCs would come to prominence in a male-dominated industry, either by preaching female empowerment and elevating women as queens, like Queen Latifah and Monie Love, or by fully embracing their sex appeal, like Salt and Pepper. Women in 90s hip-hop were numerous and diverse, even though they were often expected to look and act within certain parameters. We had the tomboys, such as MC Lyte or The Brat, who transgressed traditional codes of femininity in their style and clothing, and the vixens, Foxy Brown, Trina, and Lil' Kim, who took the expression of sex appeal to an entirely new level with the release of her debut album Hardcore in 1996. Some female rappers will also stand out by staying true to themselves and claiming their individuality. Missy Elliott would create larger-than-life personas and music videos, while Lauryn Hill took the industry by storm with her debut solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, in 1998. By the 2000s, rap became more mainstream, but female artists struggled to get recognition as record executives signed fewer women. Eve released her debut album, Let There Be Eve, Rough Riders' First Lady, in 1999, making history as the third female hip-hop artist to top the Billboard 200 chart. But she quickly realized that besides herself and Missy Elliott, who would produce many hits throughout the decade, there were not that many new female MCs. So
Here's a task for you.
we're like huge fans. So it is in a music landscape where hip-hop was prominent but female MCs rare that Nicki Minaj released her debut album Pink Friday in 2010. The release of her debut album marked a turning point in the history of rap and the beginning of an era of undisputed dominance for Nicki Minaj. Shortly after the album was released, a review in Pitchfork attempted to pinpoint how she fitted within a long lineage of female MCs and in what way she stood out. Quote, "She's been most often bracketed with Lil' Kim, but those comparisons are more about image and sexuality than her music. At her best, Minaj on the mic is far closer to the free-spirited, without a net work of Missy Elliott. She displays a wide range of talents, stuffing her verses with complex internal rhymes, agile shifts in character and voice, and twisted, offbeat wordplay. Avoiding easy categorization on her mixtapes and guest verses, Minaj has played the coquette, the powerhouse, the lady, the diva, the rapper's rapper, the fembot, and the comedian.
She was like she's a hybrid of everything we saw in the past, and then what we see now in the present, and what we'll see in the future. I think she was all of it. I mean, think about it. She was the only one she was the only one that was publicized for so many years, so she kind of had to be it all. And shout out to her for doing that. A lot of people cannot do that.
Quote. If there's one thing to take away from this quote, it is that Nicki Minaj avoided easy categorization. She demonstrated early in her career that she could meet and even exceed performance standards of the very codified world of hip-hop. Her skill as a lyricist and a performer earned her the respect and cosign of established male rappers. But in many ways, she's also largely broken the mold of hip-hop to design a peculiar type of stardom that was unique in hip-hop at the time. Quote, "I feel like I'm doing everything the boys can and have done plus more," she told The Guardian in 2010. She would wear colorful wigs with elaborate and extravagant outfits, constructing an artistic persona that was equally sexy and quirky. That artistic direction was in line with a broader trend in mainstream pop music that saw its major female artists adopt increasingly extravagant visual presentations in public appearances, music videos, and stage performances. But taking this direction was arguably less risky for a pop star than a rapper. Besides that, the combination of rap and pop material in her debut album was seen by rap gatekeepers as a sign that she did not seek to uphold the traditional codes of hip-hop, but instead preferred to produce music that would appeal not only to her existing fan base, but also to a broader audience. It turned out to be a risky yet successful marketing move that made her very successful commercially, with hits such as Super Bass, Starships, and Turn Me On, which allowed her to conquer a broader market than the female MCs that preceded her, without alienating the audience that had been following her since her mixtape days. In music videos and on stage, she would bring her artistic persona to life thanks to the theatricality of her performances. She had notable skits in music videos like Moment for Life and Right Through Me, and played multiple characters in Kanye West's Monster. Critics quickly noted that there was something intriguingly fluid about her style, and her level of dedication to that theatricality allowed her to seamlessly flip from the foul-mouthed lady of Romance Revenge to the devoted girlfriend of Your Love. In a sense, Nicki Minaj was very much a rap diva in the good sense of the word. It is thanks to that quality that she managed to garner many female and LGBTQ+ fans who started to massively take interest in her, as well as a music genre that has been notorious for its normalization of misogyny and queerphobia. Yet, her extravagance on stage was also seen in a bad light and sometimes received backlash. The clearest case of this is her infamous performance at the 2012 Grammy Awards, which was presented as a reenactment of the 2005 movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose, in which Nicki Minaj plays the role of an uncontrollable, possessed woman.
Mother, they talking about me. I tell ya, mother, they talking about me. They must be smoking a couple of OC. They want the outline, I get them a goatee.
In an open letter released after her performance, the president of the Catholic League slammed the Grammys and Nicki Minaj, describing her as fresh off looking like a fool with Madonna at the Super Bowl, and then enumerating everything he believed was despicable about her performance. In hindsight, this performance is seen as one of the factors that caused her to be blackballed by the Recording Academy and to never receive a Grammy Award throughout her career.
What I do is art. If you go and look at a painting and they have something that is, seems a little offensive, it's still art. I am painting a picture, and if you don't like it, you don't have to look. But would never be purposely offensive to anyone.
Exactly.
By comparison,
I said this in a past video that when we stop looking at them as rappers and singers and categorizing them, and we realize that they are recording artists, and you see the art in it, it's a form of art. It's gonna be offensive to some people. That's why I'm like, with the beefs and the fighting and all that good stuff, it's like it's gonna happen because some people are gonna take things the wrong way. That's how art is. It's subjective. You're gonna see it in one way, somebody else will see it another way. It's just about how people receive it. I love that she made that point.
Lady Gaga's 2009 MTV VMA performance, in which she also used Catholic imagery by portraying herself as a sacrificial lamb and eventually hanging herself on stage, was dubbed a masterpiece.
Exactly.
In much respect, there were clearly some types of artists who were allowed to push the envelope without fearing controversy, and others who were not. And somehow, Nicki Minaj always seemed to be on the wrong side of selective outrage. More broadly, many commentators in the media did not expect a rapper to display such a level of eccentricity. So much so that some journalists merely viewed Nicki Minaj as an imitator who sought to replicate the style of top-selling pop stars.
But if you know what's good for you, do not compare Nicki Minaj to Lady Gaga.
Gaga's a fantastic artist. Like, you know, she's paved her way. She's opened her own lane. But I feel like I have my own lane. And we never pause. Ever.
As years went by and her status elevated, Nicki Minaj progressively traded her colorful wigs and larger-than-life outfits to adopt a more natural look. Thanks to a favorable cultural context in which social media enabled artists to promote themselves in new ways, and in which hip-hop was slowly becoming the most popular genre, Nicki Minaj reached an unprecedented level of exposure for a female rapper and broke numerous records early in her career. If we look at rap music as a market, we could say that Nicki Minaj clearly saturated or monopolized the female rap niche during the first half of the 2010s. For instance, she was present on 63 singles either as a lead or feature artist between 2010 and 2014. Due to her unprecedented commercial success and her omnipresence in the field, she was celebrated and acknowledged as hip-hop's main female star. For instance, she won the award for Best Female Hip-Hop Artist 7 consecutive times between 2010 and 2016 at the BET Awards, which shows that the industry could no longer envision female rap with someone else as its main artist. There were quite a few music acts who emerged or came back during that period of time, but most of them never reached Nicki Minaj's level of prominence. In 2014, Australian rapper Iggy Azalea released the smash hit Fancy with Charli XCX, which reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. After some hip-hop commentators decried her perceived lack of authenticity as a rapper, Nicki Minaj made a speech at the BET Awards that many saw as quote-unquote shade directed at Iggy Azalea, who had performed with T.I. earlier that night.
What I want the world to know about Nicki Minaj is when you hear Nicki Minaj spit, Nicki Minaj wrote it.
In 2017, she was also accused by Remy Ma in her diss track Sheather of allegedly attempting to sabotage her career. This prompted Nicki Minaj to release the single No Fraud to reassert her status as the dominant force in the rap game. But her gain in prominence was also felt outside the genre of hip-hop as she increased the status of female rappers in mainstream music more generally. Historically, female rappers have not been seen as being on the same level of stardom and fame as mainstream pop stars. But Nicki Minaj reached a level of success such that she was perceived as being as relevant in mainstream culture as her top-selling pop peers. After her music video for Anaconda was snubbed for Video of the Year at the 2015 VMAs, she directly went back and forth with Taylor Swift, claiming that the institution had a bias against videos portraying women with curvier bodies. And after Miley Cyrus, who was the show's host, said about the situation that she was quote-unquote not too kind, and implied that she was simply jealous about not being nominated, Nicki Minaj gave us an iconic TV moment.
Back to this.
Cotton helps
Really?
me move
That's what you put it-
because it flows with me. Access to quality care may be closer than you think with United Healthcare.
This bitch that had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good? Hey.
In a hip-hop field that was lacking the presence of a dominant female force, Nicki Minaj managed to establish herself as the most prominent and successful female rapper of the past decade by demonstrating the full extent of her talent as an MC while crafting a public persona that broke the codes of hip-hop and gave her the same level of exposure as mainstream pop stars. But in a fast-evolving industry obsessed with youth and novelty, where consumers' tastes shift quickly and opportunities to get noticed on social media are omnipresent, a monopoly can only be maintained for so long. On June 16, 2017, 3 months after the release of Nicki Minaj's No Fraud, a new artist named Cardi B released the song Bodak Yellow. The single topped the US Billboard Hot 100 chart for 3 consecutive weeks, making Cardi B the second female rapper to reach #1 with a solo song, following Lauryn Hill's Do Up That Thing in 1998, and making Bodak Yellow Billboard's top female rap song of the year. Cardi B was initially known as an up-and-coming artist on the reality TV show Love and Hip Hop. But through social media, she was able to promote her mixtapes, grow her own platform, and develop a fan base, all scoring a big record deal with Atlantic Records in 2017. Nicki Minaj attempted to delegitimize her by claiming that she did not write her own music and that she engaged in payola, i.e. paying radios to play her songs, but neither of those accusations tarnished Cardi B's reputation, since she was unapologetic about not writing her lyrics and about being mainly focused on commercial performance as opposed to peer recognition. Fast forward.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop it right there and not ask a question, but just say something that I noticed, and I don't mean it to be disrespectful in any way. When people talk about payola and record labels buying stuff like that, that happens. I get that. But I've seen people in the past, not even Nicki Minaj fans, just in general, people will say that Cardi did not claw her way to the top or claw her way into what she did. They'll say she didn't work as hard for it. It happened overnight. I'm a Love and Hip Hop fiend. I watched that girl go from not even being able to get on the same stages with Bianca and Mariah Lynn to being bigger than them. That's one of the pieces that used to piss me off a lot. It's like, well, she didn't work for it. She really did work for it. Now, when she got there, did they probably pay for it? Yeah. You know, that's not right. But like, the girl put in her hours. She did do her work as well. Maybe not the way you like it, but it is what it is. And that's me just being real honest. I don't love Cardi B's music at all. I loved her on TV. I really didn't try to listen to the music, but I watched her grind on television to get to where she was musically. In addition to all of us watching Nicki Minaj grind to be who she is now. So, you know, the whole invalidating people's career because it happened overnight in your eyes, it's still crazy because some of us watch people come up from nothing. So keep that in mind.
Nicki Minaj helped a then up-and-coming Megan Thee Stallion's career gain momentum by giving her a feature on the song Hot Girl Summer. From that point on, she quickly became a star thanks to major features with Beyoncé on the remake of her song Savage, and eventually with Cardi B on the smash hit WAP. And this contrast between the career trajectory of Nicki Minaj versus the new generation of female rappers what sheds light on the downside of being a pioneer as opposed to a follower.
Okay.
First of all, Nicki Minaj's career is a clear example that pioneers must invest heavily in persuading consumers and industry peers that the direction they pursue is relevant. Later entrants benefit from those informed consumers and do not need to spend as much time and resources on garnering their interest. Besides, much like a rap Barbie, Nicki Minaj created a formula that potential followers can take inspiration from. Followers get to develop their careers much faster by imitating and improving upon this existing template.
Today, it almost seems like there is a female rapper starter kit.
Thank you.
That you have to have before you come in.
Absolutely.
Later entrants can also study pioneers to figure out how to best navigate through the market and avoid making their predecessors' mistakes. Nicki Minaj was questioned, doubted, and criticized during the earliest phase of her career for a multiplicity of reasons. But the new generation of female rappers does not receive as much backlash because A, they have a clearer idea of how to play by the music industry's rules, and B, a lot of what Nicki Minaj has done that was controversial a couple of years ago is no longer as contentious. Female rappers now have an avenue when it comes to exposure on the radio and TV, and they get to win big at award shows. While Nicki Minaj notoriously lost the Grammy for Best New Artist to Bon Iver and never won any Grammy award thereafter, Cardi B became the first female to ever win the Grammy for Best Rap Album in 2019, and Megan Thee Stallion won Best New Artist in 2021, becoming the first female rapper to win in a general category since Lauryn Hill's win for Best Album, while Anaconda was snubbed for Best Music Video at the 2015 VMAs because, according to Nicki Minaj herself, the network tends to favor women with slim bodies. WAP, which arguably features women with the same type of body as Anaconda, was nominated for that award in 2021. And while the backlash Nicki Minaj received after her 2012 Grammy performance did play a role in her not winning any Grammy throughout her entire career, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's WAP performance in 2021 did cause quite a lot of controversy, but not to the point of endangering their chances of winning awards. Nicki Minaj might no longer have a quote-unquote monopoly over the female rap niche, but the way she's influenced its evolution is clear and undeniable. The field of female rap is more open than ever, and female rappers have never been as successful commercially and relevant culturally. New female rappers have as much notoriety and exposure as their pop counterparts. They get radio play, major brand deals, major awards, and so on and so forth. Another positive thing that is worth noting is that as opportunities to break into the mainstream are more numerous than ever, it seems that women no longer feel compelled to compete with each other for the quote-unquote top spot. Over the past 2 or 3 years, the field has become much more collaborative than competitive. Nicki Minaj's unique career trajectory has inspired an entire generation of new artists who are now in a position to achieve great things thanks to her contribution to hip-hop. But above all, it teaches us what it takes to become a true icon in one's field. True trailblazers struggle, take risks, exceed expectations, break new ground, and set the foundation for the following generation to achieve even more.
And sometimes they do not get the respect that they deserve doing that. That comes with it. I'm not justifying that. It just comes with it. And then they end up watching everything that they work for someone else without all the fuckery that they have to deal with. And it sucks because, again, it's a disrespectful thing to them. But then it's like on the opposite side of it, they have to be able to see, damn, I did that. And I think for her, she sees that and she says that, and then people come at her for that because they feel like it's disrespecting those who have come behind her. But she did that. She trailblazed. She pioneered that. So I get it. Let me see what he's going to say at the end.
This is precisely what Nicki Minaj's artistic journey is all about.
Okay. But yes, that's what that's my biggest takeaway from that. And there is a downside to it. It is. She receives so much hate. I think that's ridiculous. But then I see a lot of hate being given toward the new ones, and not from her, and not always from her fan base. I think, like I said months ago, I was loving how much support they were giving each other, and then it seemed like something just shifted in the last month, and everybody is at each other's throats, and it don't make no sense. But I'm gonna keep this about Nicki Minaj. Yeah, trailblazer. She's done incredible things. I think she will continue to do incredible things. She will always be the top until she decides, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, or I'm gonna go sit down. And yeah, that's that on that. This was a really, really good one. I love documentaries like this that expose everything and just bring it all into perspective. And as always, if I said something that you didn't agree with, I do apologize if that makes you feel away. Just be respectful in the comments. That's all I ask. I really don't want to fight with nobody. I'm just giving opinions just like y'all give opinions. So let me know your thoughts below. Comment, like, subscribe. Until next time. Peace.
Go.